All right, let's get right into it. Today we're going to talk about a pretty chilling idea that a democracy doesn't always die with a big, loud bang. Sometimes it gets sick, slowly, almost without anyone noticing. We're going to use our source material today as a kind of diagnostic guide to learn how to spot the symptoms of this internal decay, hopefully before it's too late.
And this is where it all starts. This one line just forces you to think differently, doesn't it? We all have this image of a coup, tanks in the streets, a dramatic takeover. But our source is telling us, hey, that's not the only way. The real threat might be a lot quieter, something happening from the inside out. So this is really the key distinction. You have this sudden death. That's the heart attack. It's violent, it's obvious, nobody can deny it happened. But then you have the slow sickness. And that's way more like a chronic illness. The symptoms are subtle, they're easy to explain away, and they just build up over time, until one day, the whole system is about to collapse. It's this slow sickness that we're going to learn how to diagnose today. Okay, so if we're going to diagnose this thing, we need a framework, right? We need to know what to look for. Our source lays out a whole series of symptoms, which we're going to walk through one by one. Think of this whole thing as a medical checkup for a republic. We're going to check its vital signs, see where the illness might be taking hold. And the very first set of symptoms we need to look for goes right to the core of the system itself. So here's our first major symptom: the decay of the very skeleton of the state, its core institutions. So in a healthy republic, you have these people our source calls constitutional functionaries. It's a bit of a formal term, but just think of them as the impartial referees of the system. We're talking about judges, election commissioners, top civil servants. Their whole job is to uphold the rules for everybody, no matter who's currently in power. And right here, this is the first real sign of sickness. It's when those referees stop calling the game fairly, when they stop serving the Constitution and instead start serving one particular political team. The moment their loyalty shifts from the rulebook to a single party, well, that's when the whole structure starts to get wobbly. Okay, let's zoom in on one of those key institutions, the judiciary. In a healthy system, the courts are supposed to be the ultimate backstop. They're there to deliver impartial justice and to act as that final, independent check on anyone who tries to overstep their power. Now, this is such a subtle and honestly a brilliant way to describe institutional decay. See, the symptom isn't always a bad ruling. Sometimes it's the absence of a ruling. When courts get scared of taking on the powerful, they can just delay. They kick the can down the road indefinitely. It's a quiet way of giving in, and it's a huge red flag. Okay. So we've seen how the institutions, the very bones of the republic, can start to decay, but the sickness doesn't stop there. The next group of symptoms is all about poisoning the very lifeblood of a democracy: public debate and conversation. So let's start with the ideal, right? In a healthy democracy, the media is supposed to be a mirror. Its job is to reflect reality: the good, the bad, the ugly, back at us and at our leaders. It's how we hold people accountable. The reflection isn't always pretty, but you absolutely have to have it. And here's the symptom. The sickness shows up when that mirror gets tossed aside and replaced with a megaphone. So instead of reflecting a complex reality with lots of different viewpoints, the media just becomes a tool to amplify one single narrative, one single voice, and it just drowns out everything else. Now, once that starts happening, the poison spreads to the very words we use. Take the word dissent. In a healthy republic, that's a good thing. It's how you speak truth to power. But in a sick one, that exact same act gets relabeled as sedition, a crime against the entire country. And you see the same dangerous word game happen with the idea of protest. What should be a totally legitimate way for citizens to express themselves is twisted into a provocation. You see how clever that is? It reframes the act to make it seem like the protesters are the ones looking for trouble. And this one might be the most chilling of all. It happens to the simple act of asking a question. Questioning things is the foundation of a thinking society. But in this sick system, asking a tough question gets you labeled anti-national. All of a sudden, to question the government is to attack the very idea of the nation. It's an incredibly powerful way to silence any and all criticism. All right, we've looked at the evidence, we've examined the decay in the institutions and the poison spreading through public debate. Now it's time to put it all together and make our final diagnosis, based on what our source tells us. So what did we find? Let's just run through the checklist of warning signs. We have institutions caving under political pressure. We have officials who are supposed to be impartial acting like partisan puppets. We have the courts delaying justice. The media transforms from a mirror into a megaphone. And the very language of democracy, words like dissent, protest, and questioning, gets twisted into weapons.
And when you see all those symptoms showing up together, our source delivers this final, stark conclusion. The Republic isn't just a little sick anymore. It's in critical condition. It's on a ventilator. It's a powerful way of saying the system can no longer breathe on its own.
And really, that leaves us with one final crucial thought. This isn't just some academic checklist, right? This is a tool for all of us to be more aware. So the real question becomes a personal one. What are the vital signs you look for? How do you check the health of the republic you live in?